Welcome everyone to Aircraft Carrier aka CV101 in World of Warships Blitz. My name is Starbuck and let's get this show on the road. Today's guide is the Tier 9 USS Essex, your first American CV with 2 dive bomber squadrons. Yes, that's right, you get double the fire chance now when you drop your balls of fiery justice on your enemies. Just for some context, each bomb dropped has a 64.2% chance of setting a fire. Times that by 4 per squadron, and with 2 under your command, that's a lot of fires if you are on a specific target. Now, even with all of that fire starting capabilities, it is very easy for you to run out of firepower in the USS Essex. Yes, I did mention firepower. What I mean by this is that the Essex suffers from a very slow plane preparation time, and even with the reduced preparation time as an equipment choice, if you are not hyper-selective with your targets, all of your striking abilities will be for nothing. As you will see, by having 2 dive bomber squadrons, I'd recommend that you delay each squadron in their sorties. When you send out your fighters and torpedo bombers, keep the second dive bomber squad in reserve. That way, after your initial attack run, the second squadron can be sent to that target to restart fires and maintain visibility on that target. This delay will also make sure that you always have planes in the air, giving you total air control and visibility, which is a massive advantage for your team. With this short presentation on how to play the USS Essex out of the way, let's check out the elite bonus and the necessary equipment. For the elite bonus, I have selected advanced dive bombers to increase the fire chance of your bombs and their overall damage. This bonus really performs nicely and in conjunction with the strategy you need to adopt with the USS Essex. For the equipment, in the first slot I've selected Ground Service System Modification 1. This equipment will reduce your plane's preparation time significantly compared to the base stats. Essex at Tier 9 and the Midway at Tier 10 are very powerful CVs, but because battles are short in time, your planes that have good health and protection need to come out as fast as possible to actually have an impact on the game. Fighter Modification 1 does work at Tier 9, but as you will see, your fighters already overpowered the Tier 9 Japanese CV Taiho and can quickly remove any other plane. The other options are just not viable for the current state of the meta at Tier 9. However, for the other options, flexibility can be adopted. I myself have chosen the anti-aircraft dome, if you want, for both the second and third slots, increasing their damage but also their range. Yet, you may wish to select Propulsion Modification 1 in the second slot and Steering Gear Modification 2 in the third slot to avoid destroyers torpedoes that can more or less destroy you in a single strike. Depending on your levels of confidence in dodging and situation awareness, it is up to you on what to decide and on what to pick. Just remember that the most essential equipment, in my opinion, is a reduction in preparation time for all your planes. The others are just Brucey bonuses. With these equipments explained and presented, let's check how the Essex performs in battle. So here we have a nice Tier 8, Tier 9 battle for you. Okay, few destroyers, few cruisers, but nothing too scary for my planes. So, as I mentioned in the introduction, we're going to have to adopt a certain playstyle, sending the fighters first, then the bombers, then the torpedoes, whilst maintaining the second squad in reserve, as you will see. So, I'm launching out my fighters, my planes, all towards the enemy base to go and ascertain a little bit of visibility on the situation. So, we're waiting for contact. I've noticed that the enemy CV is rather slow. I'm positioning myself to maintain, and there we are. There's the first destroyer. Tapping that return home button on my torpedoes. Oh, there's the enemy fighters. Let's send my own to catch them out. Unfortunately, I've just missed my torpedoes on that destroyer, but it doesn't matter. I've baited the fighters. What am I going to do? Reposition my fighters close to my CV. Make them go over the enemy Seattle. Already benefit from some damage from their anti-aircraft. There's already one down. And we can start mowing them down. With the enemy fighters dead, I can now send off my fighters to attack his dive bombers, making sure that I tap behind, tap behind, tap behind, tap behind, tap behind, really reducing their numbers. All 4 have been shot down by my fighters. My dive bombers have once again missed, but we can carry on. So I'm going to attack the other destroyer whilst maintaining pressure on those bombers. I'll keep my fighters in an aggressive position between the enemy CV and my allies. And that way, whenever the planes are out, I'll be the first ones to potentially engage. So repositioning my torpedoes using the return home button. And here we go. I think we've got our first torpedo hits of the game. Yes, that's fantastic. There are still no planes out. You see, this is the problem with the Essex. Once your planes have been shot down, they take a very, very long time to come back into action. And this is why you have to be very intelligent about it. So there we are. Once again, I have baited the enemy fighters. Going to send them over my CV. Because my team is very spread out. It's very difficult to protect everyone when they're spread out like this. Sometimes you just got to hope and wish that all your friends are clever enough to stay together. Just makes the job as a CV a little bit easier, but there you go. So another 5 aircraft destroyed. That's the entire fighter crew down, and now I can target the enemy torpedo bombers. So here we go. I'm repositioning my torpedo bombers as my fighters are doing their job on those torpedo bombers. So I've already shot down 2. That's 2 torpedoes less they can send out. See, what I've done here with the torpedo bombers is I've followed the line very discreetly. Look at that. I'm following that line. I'm using my bombers to know where this position is, and there we are. I've sunk the destroyer with my torpedoes in the smoke, using the indicators from my dive bombers. And at the same time, my planes are doing a fantastic job. I'm already at 24 planes shot down. Look how much damage that is. Okay? They're reducing from the enemy team because of that. Now, unfortunately here, I was a bit slow to react to the enemy fighters, and I got my fighters caught out. But in the same time, we're attacking this Monarch. I've noticed that he's going to be sunk. I reposition my bombers to another target. No need to waste them, okay? There we are. So I'm unlucky, 3 hits, no fires. It does happen from time to time. So in the meantime, we're going to focus on the closest targets with my planes. The enemy fighters are being very non-responsive to the situation. They should be flying over the Alsace, not somewhere near another battleship where they're going to be naturally shot down. So 2 fires and a flood. But you see, in 13 seconds, my next plane's out. So by the time the damage repair kit has come off cooldown, I'm going to send another plane and cause massive amounts of damage. And potentially reset a fire where they will have to wait once again for the damage repair kit to be off cooldown. So I'm going to have a few shots to receive my way, but look, I've got 39k HP. You can tank a bit of damage as a CV. It's not necessarily the end of the world if you're suddenly showing, but you need to be in a position where you are repositioning yourself, okay? So here we are, there go my dive bombers. And that Alsace is nice and dead from the torpedoes. My second squad is heading towards the Donsk, and will make sure that it goes down just as quickly. So I'm using my fighters to scout out the remainders of the map. I'm noticing that there's very few planes left. Look, bit of lack of attention there. I've let my fighters get caught. Oh well, it's not the end of the world. We're already in a very strong position at the moment. It's not as critical, but if you can avoid doing so, it's better. So the Donsk is on fire. Now my torpedoes are going to smack into him using that little bit of advance on the torpedo cones, and there we are. There's another 5 that have hit him perfectly. Those fighters are trying to chase my bombers, but they're heading over friendly anti-aircraft, which means they're reducing their effectiveness against my planes. 10 seconds, my fighters can head back out once again. And that Donsk is dead. I don't need to send my bombers against him. I retarget, reposition onto the second destroyer, or the third destroyer. No, second destroyer, sorry, of that team. So, I've noticed there's only one fighter. I can directly engage those fighters with my fighters. I know I'm going to come out with a win from that battle situation. And there we are, they've been shot down. So I'm going to send my fighters against the enemy torpedo bombers, whilst at the same time putting on pressure on the Z-46. I know he's on fire, I know he's already used repair kits. I can more or less forget about him and charge for that CV in the last minute of this battle. 50k damage, 26 planes shot down at the moment. It's been a very, very good battle. But let's maintain the pressure. Let's take as many points off of this enemy team in the leaderboard. So we've got to shoot down more and more planes. There we go. Another one, another two, another three. No, not unlucky enough for the third one. Oh, we did get a little one, but that's it. I believe in the last 15 seconds, we won't have enough time to sink the enemy CV. But as you can see, I've advanced with the rest of my team, even in this situation. See, you always want to be with your team to provide them the best and the maximum amount of support as you can be. So there we are. Starbuck with the Essex at tier 9, MVP. So at this screen, we're looking at how the Essex became the most valuable player in this battle. So as you can see, 29 aircraft destroyed, 62,000 damage, 2 ships destroyed. It's a complete obliteration of the enemy, especially compared to the other Essex, who, although was the best player in their team, only was able to destroy 13 aircrafts and successfully cause 33,000 damage. What really worked here was the fact that those destroyers received continuous pressure from my planes during the entire battle, whilst at the same time controlling and managing the air fleet from that other Essex. Because he was sending all waves at the same time with the Essex, he wasn't able to get that specific damage going. Whereas me, I hate to blow my own whistle in this case, but by delaying, having that delay strategy on the dive bombers and the torpedo bombers and the control of the skies of the fighters, I was able to pretty much double up the damage that was done between the two different SS6. And in the second results screen, we're looking at really what went well for me during the course of this battle, because when you look at it like that, you only see that there's 17 bomb hits and 18 torpedoes. But essentially, look at that. We've set 5 fires and sunk 2 ships. And then those 29 planes that have been shot down, that's just fantastic. We've really been effective, annoying, and frustrating the enemy wherever possible. And that really influences a battle when you are a carrier. The more you can frustrate the enemy and the opposition, the more you can do, and the more you can achieve in a battle, and guarantee not only those clear sky medals, the Witherer medals, but also the MVP and the battle stars. That's it for today's CVs class. I hope with this information you've learned a few new tips and tricks and are ready to join battle with me or against me in World of Warships Blitz. Until next time, this is Starbuck.